folks.
Make sure you smile.
Yep.
Right.
Gene Galin here with the Chatham Journal. I've got Coach Cox and Grayson Cox, coach, son, both on the Northwood lacrosse team. You've got a long history because you played lacrosse at UNC.
I did. Played in the 80s, 81, 82, 83, 84. 2 national championship teams, and was fortunate enough to play for Coach Willie Scroggs, and then I went on and played for Team USA in 1986, and it's been a nice career. Mm-hmm.
And you're like in the NC State Sports Hall of Fame, aren't you?
Yeah, North Carolina Hall of Fame. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said NC State. I meant
yeah, no, it's the North Carolina Hall of Fame, top 50 ACC players to ever play the game, and I was fortunate enough to be Player of the Year in 1984. Yeah, so long history.
I think one time we talked about it is the fact that at that time, I believe it was Woody Durham.
Yeah.
Didn't quite know what lacrosse was.
That's right.
Can you share some of that experience that you had with Woody?
Yeah, no, our group that came in the early 80s, we were really introducing lacrosse to North Carolina. And many of the players that played at Carolina ended up sort of launching what is lacrosse in Chapel Hill. And, we had some success. We were undefeated my freshman year. We were undefeated my sophomore year. And Woody Durham and just really the Chapel Hill community took a liking to this new game of lacrosse. And there were 5 of us that ended up doing the first interview with Woody Durham and really just sort of introducing the game to the larger Chapel Hill community. And Chapel Hill was a much smaller place than what it is today. So it was pretty special. There would be posters hung up around campus, and every game was a step toward an undefeated season. And so it really created some momentum, it was a special time for me personally. It was a special time for UNC lacrosse, and I think it was a special time for the game of lacrosse.
You also played high school football, so you were multi-sport. You also are played high school football. What are your feelings about student athletes playing multiple sports during the school year?
Yeah, Grayson knows my position on that, and I'm a big fan. And we're talking to different colleges and trying to figure out Grayson's next steps. And surprisingly, college coaches are very supportive of dual sport athletes because it teaches them different aspects of whatever game it is that they're playing. It teaches them how to be a team player, and if you have good coaches that really promote that culture, then the player carries it with them to the next level. And what I'm finding is that college coaches are in full support of it. Yeah.
And you played quarterback at Northwood, and you did pretty well there too, didn't you? Yeah. What encouragement did you get from your dad for playing both football and lacrosse?
He's always growing up. He's always loved it. My freshman and sophomore year, I also played basketball as well on the JV side, and growing up, we've always been a family where we've always played sports, no matter what it was. But it's always been sports and sports and sports. And I've played 3 my whole life, and then I decided to focus on 2 and try and go play at the next level. And he's been in support of that. He's always supported me, and he's played lacrosse and what he's done, but he's always supported me. If I want to go play football, he's going to be there for me, and it's always going to be my decision on what I want to do with my future. And he's supported me in that through it all.
What's the best advice your dad gave you, or advice about playing lacrosse? Either just overall how to play the game or how to play your position.
There's
best advice.
It's his.
Yeah.
Don't you want to know what your best advice was?
Yeah, I'm curious to know what that is.
I don't know if I can pinpoint one. There's always new advice every day. I don't know the game. I think my IQ is pretty high, but it's nothing compared to what he has, and every day it's always something new. So I don't know if I can sit here and pinpoint one because I'm constantly getting some day in and day out from him.
Well, I know your mom really supports you as well. So let me ask you this question: what's the best advice your mom has given you? And it doesn't have to necessarily have to do with lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of everything?
Just in terms of life.
Always lead by example. Don't just say you're going to do something. He harped on in practice the other day, because I get it from both of them. Don't tell someone to do something that you're not willing to do. The other day, someone got the water, and we were screaming at someone to go get the water, and someone else has got to step up. A senior's got to step up. How he described it is at UNC, the seniors would do it and not the freshmen, because you don't need to ask someone to do something that you wouldn't do. So always lead by example and be that example for someone else.
That put a smile on your face?
Yeah, no, I subscribe to that. I mean, I think that, there's a number of things that were valuable lessons for me along the way. And I try and bring those valuable lessons to the boys. I had a coach that coached at the highest level. He was my coach for Team USA, Don Zimmerman, and he would always say at practice, make sure you have your foot behind the line, right? If we're gonna do sprints, everyone's foot needs to be behind the line. And the logic behind that was that you don't need to cheat your teammate in having your foot in front of the line. Everyone starts with their foot either on the line or behind the line, and you give 100%, right? And so that's something that stuck with me. I run a couple of companies, and so one of the things that I make sure that I do is I'm committed to making sure that I'll do everything that anybody else would do, and not think that because someone's brand new or a freshman, as an example, that they have and they're supposed to do the things that others don't want to do. There are some programs out there, I'm not going to name them, but it is where seniors lead by doing the things that you would think would be assigned to a freshman. And that's intentional, to let everyone know, and it's a culture that you build. And for me, I want these boys, every single one of them, to walk away with something that they can carry on in the next phase of their life. And maybe they're sitting in a boardroom someday, or maybe they're sitting in a meeting and they're either leading or having a conversation, but they'll be able to reflect on something that they learned out here. And I think that means an awful lot.
Since you're leading by example, what's some of the best compliments or best feedback that you've gotten from your teammates on either the lacrosse team or football team or either team?
I've heard, just in terms of, I've heard from people that I tend to be a good leader, and that's just in my nature, and that's just who I am. And that really, growing up, I've always had good leaders in front of me. My freshman year, when we went to the state championship, we had great leaders on that team. As an example, it's my father, and he's always been a good leader for me. But just hearing from my teammates that they see me as a good leader, has to be the best compliment that I've gotten from everyone on both sides, football and lacrosse.
All right, this is a question for both of you. What 2 or 3 events or plays or games during the last 4 years in lacrosse has put the biggest smile on your face and put the biggest smile on your face?
Go ahead.
So you want to say it at the same time?
Go ahead.
Freshman year, East Regional Championship game against Orange. We played them twice in conference, and we lost to them both times. And regular season, we were not conference champs, and we beat them in the East Regional Championship game to go to the state playoffs, or to the state championship game, excuse me. And we beat them by 2 at their place. That's number one by far.
Yeah, I would say another one that is right on up there is Croatan at their place to get to the game against Orange, and we were down by 3 goals, 4-1 in the fourth.
9 minutes to go.
9 minutes to go, and ended up winning 5-4. So that one sticks out. and they have a great program, and Coach Benson down there has done an absolutely fantastic job. And so he says it still haunts him today. But for us to beat them, to go to the state championship game, we lost to Lake Norman Charter. But then, on the flip side, and Croatan came here and played us a couple of weeks ago, and then we had a little cookout with their families and their kids. They won the state championship last year, and so it's what's nice is that, and this does put a smile on my face, is that the lacrosse community is one big family. I'm getting text messages today, and there is a reunion that's being held this summer for what are the Denver Rifles. The Denver Rifles was a professional team that I played on in 1987, and 23 of those players are getting together, and that was the team roster in Denver this summer. And so, that's on the post-college side of the equation. But there's an alumni weekend this weekend at the University of North Carolina for the 1986 National Championship team. And we have had our alumni reunion this past season, probably, I think, the Army game that we had the reunion. And 1981, 1982 players, 1984 players, 1983, everyone came back. And so it's just a family of very supportive people, no matter what.
You're still involved with the UNC team, aren't you? I'm just checking to make sure we're still going. So, okay, we're running.
Yeah, I am still involved with the UNC program. Coach Bresci, still gives me the opportunity to stay engaged. I do the table. I work with the officials. I work with the teams coming in. Most everybody has gotten to know me since I played, so for close to 40 years, I've been right there week in, week out, and it's just an honor and a privilege to be part of it.
And your wife and your mom doesn't just keep an eye on him; she keeps an eye on you. I heard a story that you have had some hip surgery.
Yeah.
And she saw you climbing up.
Yeah, I don't know whether she saw me or whether she heard from somebody that was reporting back to her. That's still TBD, to be determined. But yeah, so 4 days after hip surgery, and it really just shows the commitment level from everybody. They got a ladder for me. They figured out how to get me to the game. I got up on the podium. I did the clock for the game. It was a great game, right? You were there. It was pretty awesome to be a part of it. Syracuse had their coach come over and just say, what's going on? I walked in with a walker, and so that really is the family that exists. It's not just us playing an opposing team. And yes, it does get competitive. We are playing an opposing team. We want to win, but there is also a genuine caring for each other. And when major things happen in people's lives, people pick up the call and say, "How are you doing?"
Okay. Now, did your mom really get on your dad about doing what he did, or you didn't hear about it?
I didn't hear about it too much, but I don't know if she did.
No, she did.
Okay.
She was not happy. She was not happy.
That's yeah. Well, that's why we get married, to have our women take care of us.
That's right.
Us guys. You broke several records this year. That was, and you've got to clarify, because I know Ashibo had mentioned to me, and he wrote it up in the Chatham News and Record newspaper. And this man was Ashibo's Athlete of the Week last week. Why don't you let people know? Well, he said it was because one of the reasons was you had scored the winning goal against Seaforth, and then you had broken several records. So why don't you tell us about that game? I think Ashibo interviewed you about that game as well, but let folks know what it is that you did that weekend, and then what are the two, I think it was 2 records that you broke this week.
So the time of the Athlete of the Week against Croatan, I broke the most points in a career. That was held by Lars Hogue with 253. And then against Orange, I broke goals in a career with 161. and that was held by Taylor LeBurge. And then against Seaforth, I had five goals, and then I hit the overtime goal as well.
Okay, for folks who don't know, and I didn't know this until it was explained to me, what is the difference between a goals record and a scoring record?
So a goals record is the amount of goals you have, and then a points record is goals and assists combined. And it's just in combined, which I had totaled up to 253 at the time that I broke it.
So this is all within a span of 2 weeks that you went ahead and broke both those records. I'm not going to ask you this cliche question because when I'm in press conferences, this question comes up. Well, how do you feel when you scored that record? So we're not going to ask you that, but we're going to ask you what it took you to get to that point, because that's an achievement that you've broken a record that's been, no one else is. Well, someone else did have it, but you managed to break it. How did you get to that point? By both your efforts, your dad's coaching efforts, just a combination of how. And if you're talking a brand new lacrosse player, how do you get to the point as you start out as a freshman and by the time you're senior, you're breaking school records?
Luckily for me, as a freshman, I had a lot of people around me that helped me and boosted me up, which was a big deal and definitely helped me elevate my game and got me better. Throughout summer, I played with Red Devils, which is now Red Devil Sweet Lax, and I was constantly playing lacrosse. But through coach, it's game plans, and through me, it's coming out here. Our goalie, James Flanagan, is going to UMass Lowell, and we over the summer came out here a lot and just shot and get shots up, and that's very big. It's just constantly keeping a stick in your hand, constantly playing, which really helped me. All the guys on the team have helped me, constantly boosted me up. Never brought me down, which is definitely a very, very, very big part of my success, and it comes from them. It's not just me. I'm not playing against. It's not 1v10. It's 10v10, and they're the reason that I got to where I am today.
So you're a talent player. We know that. Austin Bryce, who was a Major League Baseball player and played here in Northwood, and his number got retired. He mentioned that, hey, once you get up to that next level, things kind of even out from a talent perspective, but it's the time and effort you put into it. So if someone is starting off as a freshman lacrosse player, what kind of advice can you give them to be able to achieve that little bit extra there?
One thing that I heard from the best player to ever play lacrosse, Paul Rabel, is 100 shots a day.
See, you didn't make the best player he knows.
It's okay.
Is 100 shots a day. You have to get 100 shots a day. Constantly have your stick in your hand. Shine, rain, snow. Whatever it is, you have to shoot the ball. And it's not shooting the ball at the middle of the net, shooting the ball for accuracy. It's shooting the ball on a dodge, shooting the ball. It's actually working it and getting out here and working. It's better. I would say it's better to have 20 minutes of hard, solid work than an hour of lackadaisical work. And it's just constantly getting out here. If you want to achieve something and you have a goal, you have to put time forth in doing it. And just coming out here and shooting 100 shots a day will change what you do and how you achieve things.
Does having a good goalie, sounds like you two play off each other well and help develop. He's going to what, UMass?
Yeah, UMass.
And I assume he's playing as a goalie. So did that help both of you?
For sure. He's helped me in so many extreme. His IQ of the game is so strong. We can go in there and have a 2-hour-long talk just about lacrosse. And that's what we talk about. That we're constantly talking about lacrosse. And that's helped me so much, boosting up my IQ, and then coming out here and shooting. It's great to have a buddy that's really good at offense that you can come out here and shoot with, but to have a goalie and to have a Division I goalie that you're shooting with really, really, really boosts your game. And he's helped me in so many ways.
So he knows your moves, and he's prepared for those moves. So he's probably harder to shoot at than some of the competition you go up against.
He is. He just stuffed me in practice. He knows where I'm going.
There you go. There's a compliment right there.